so in today's video, the engine, the 302, is going in the hardtop. It may be a couple of days in the making, but you're gonna see it right here in this video. But before we get working on anything, I have this stuff here to load up that's going to Daniel's because it's getting put in the car, and it's going to the scrapyard when we take the convertible to get junked, because it's just junk. There's just a bunch of engine parts and shit here, so I'm gonna go ahead and load that up and we'll get back to you. As you can see, we got the engine block in the back seat here. Got my seat a little dirty, but it'll come out. And then there's a set of heads that go with this engine block in the trunk. And yeah, it's no good. Just one that I had laying around I need to get rid of, so it's gonna go away when the convertible goes away. So now that everything's loaded up, we're good to go, so we're gonna go ahead and head over to Daniel's and see what all we can get done today. Alright, so we're at Daniel's. We've been here a little while. I haven't really recorded all that much because we've been trying to get stuff done, but so far we have most of this shit taken out of the engine bay. And yeah, most of it's disconnected. We just got the exhaust off. We had to cut it because it was welded on as one long piece from the manifold all the way back, and they welded it on in such a way that, or welded it together in such a way that it would not come out from underneath the car unless we cut it. So that was kind of a pain in the ass, and we left the manifold attached. So pretty much all we have to do now is undo the motor mounts and hook up the engine hoist and pull it out, and she'll be out. Alright guys, so it's all ready to go. So we're gonna pull the 2.3 out, and yep, still have daylight, so that's a win. That'll be out, and then we're gonna do some swapping, push this car, push that car back and forth, whatever. And yeah. Just like that, the engine's out, but it's no longer light out. So yeah, we're gonna continue with this, and I'll update you in a bit. Alright guys, we're back at Daniel's. Last night after we pulled the engine out and everything, it was pretty dark, so we just called it a night. Didn't really have any room in the garage here to pull anything in, do anything when we had lights and stuff. Plus, I think everybody was pretty tired, so yeah, but we're back the next day, and it's raining. Just our luck. But today, now, hopefully, get the engine bay cleaned up, painted, and might drop the engine in. So we'll see what happens. Right now, I got the hood off, and I'm just letting the rain do some of the work for me as far as like washing out the engine bay. I don't know how much it's actually going to help, but we'll see. We pretty much got everything removed from the engine bay, and yeah, we're getting ready to, I sprayed it all down with degreaser, and we're getting ready to spray it all out, and hopefully we'll have some paint on it before the end of the night. Alright guys, so we got it pretty much as ready as it'll ever be, and we're going to paint this thing the more skids way. I didn't take any like the brake booster or anything off, and I taped up a lot of the stuff, and we're just going to paint around it because Yeah, I think I got it taped pretty well. Most of the stuff I can, like the cables, I can move around. They're not touching anything, so I can move them, get them out of the way while I'm painting, and then let them go back to where they were, and they're not going to hurt nothing. So yeah, I'm going to set the camera up and we're going to get to it. Alright guys, so we're on our way back to Walmart. We were getting ready to paint, had everything ready to go, and like you should always do when buying paint, you never really know what the cap, you know, how different the cap color is going to be from what you actually get in the can. I did a little test piece, and the color, like I wanted to paint the engine bay like a silver color, I think, like a, I don't know, just something like lighter but not too bright to contrast the engine color scheme. But what actually came out of the can, it was like a really like silver, like almost like aluminum foil or chrome or something, you know. It was just like way is ugly, not right for the engine bay. So I got to return the paint and get a couple more cans of something else. We'll see what we can find. Alright guys, we're getting ready to start, and I got this handle that's for these spray cans. It's made by Rust-Oleum, and I'm going to be using that for the majority of it, and just because it makes it a lot easier, you know, you get less fatigue on the fingers. But I've used this before to paint other things, and I don't feel as accurate, you know, using this as I would holding it by hand. It seems like I end up being a little too heavy in certain spots and not getting that even of a coat. So I'm gonna try and get used to this still, and I'm gonna start in the wheel wells, so that way if I fuck something up, nobody's gonna see it. So alright, little change of plan guys. I don't know if I mentioned yet, but we're not doing silver anymore, we're doing gold. My dinner is here, so I'm gonna go eat, and then we're gonna come back to this. And with that, guys, painting's done, and it's gonna be probably the end of the night for us, but for you guys it'll be instant. So alright, as you can see, the paint is done. Not really sure if I like it 100% or not, but I know it looks a lot better than the other color that I did have. So now we're going to start messing with the harness, and I'm going to try and do as much of a wire tuck as I can to get the engine bay kind of cleaned up. I'm not really going to show a step-by-step on how to do it, because I don't really know how to do it, and I'm going to be trying to figure it out as I go. But I've already taken the hood release cable and just kind of have it ran through here and then out this little hole and kind of up and around and down, kind of keep it out of the way. It's not as noticeable. I mean, you can kind of see it right here, but I'm not too concerned about that. But yeah, we're gonna try and get this shit figured out. I was having trouble getting this headlight bulb connector through that hole there, and so what I ended up doing was filing down the sides just enough that it would slide through, but then I realized this whole light, like the whole harness for the lights and everything, just unplugs from the rest of it, so you don't need to do that at all. Learn from my mistake. Yeah, I'm trying to sort this out right now and get the rest of this pulled through, see what needs to be retaped and whatever else. But we got Daniel over here working on putting all this together, the fuel rail and everything, and then JR has been over there taking the fuel lines off this. We got a whole group effort going on here today. Alright guys, here's another update for you. I got a lot of this rewrapped now. I did have to extend one wire all the way across for the alternator harness because on the 2.3 the alternator's on the opposite side of the engine bay, so the harness wasn't long enough, so I had to extend that one wire. Jeremiah got the fuel lines out, and now we're gonna go get some stuff from Roll King to connect it up to the fuel lines underneath this car, and hopefully by then I got to get a bolt to fit in one of these holes for the alternator bracket here, because we've lost one at some point. So yeah, me and Jeremiah, are you driving? No. Or are you just locking your car? Okay. Yeah, we're headed to Roll King, and we're gonna go get some fuel line and a bolt, so it'll be fun. Alright guys, I got most of the wiring harness kind of set up the way I want it. We've transferred over the fuel lines, we got all that done. It's gotten dark, so we come in here in the garage. Yeah, this isn't 100% final just yet because we don't have the engine in the car, but I got it all tucked up underneath here, and this is all for the solenoid, and I don't know if I'm going to mount that inside or back in the factory location, so I haven't done anything with that just yet. And as you can see, it fits all through there, comes up, and I got it some zip ties here and there kind of holding it up under. I got this all tucked in for the lights. I'm not sure how well that's going to fit like that. I might have to move it still. But I did maintain the factory ground locations for the headlights. It works. And I don't know if I mentioned this yet in the last clip, I'm not really sure, but I had to extend one single wire here for the alternator wiring harness. Basically this is all just ground right here, and then this one wire that goes to the main harness, I had to extend it, but I got it tucked inside the loom here for the headlights, and it just runs straight underneath here, and I got it held up with some zip ties in the corners. And yeah, and as you can see, the engine is on a hoist, and right now Daniel's working on replacing the rear main seal. Someone put this one in with silicone. They RTV'd it in there, so not sure why they did that, because I believe anywhere you look it tells you specifically not to use silicone on those. So hopefully here in a bit we'll have this thing sitting in the car. Don't know if it's going to run tonight or if we're even going to get to a point where we can attempt to start it, but it'll at least be sitting in the car before the night's over. That it's just spinning. Tonight was kind of a bust. We were having trouble with the flywheel bolts and stuff. They really didn't want to torque down, and then I got to looking and some of the threads were stretched and it was just fucked up. So we decided to call it a night. Tomorrow's another day. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. We're gonna get some new bolts and see if that helps anything, and then finish putting the engine harness in the car and finishing up the wire tuck. We got the bolts situated. Daniel went this morning and got some new bolts for the flywheel there. So we're all good to go. Torqued down and everything. We're gonna put the bell housing on and clutch and everything. See what happens. So I think the wire tuck might be done. I think we got it figured out. Let me show you some of the things that I had to do. Alright, I got the engine harness in. I mean, it's going to be kind of messy in the corners a little bit, but I think that's a little unavoidable. But over on this side, the only thing that really comes through here is this one harness here that's got the fuel pump relay goes here, and this is the connector for the O2 sensor. I just ran the main harness underneath this lip here, and I drilled some holes and zip tied it up. I'm not too worried about the zip ties showing. And then on this corner, along with the main car harness going through that hole, the rest of the engine harness will pull through. There's not a whole lot there. I rewrapped it. Or no, that's what I did yesterday. This is, I had the loom on it still, so I left it. This is just a ground. And then you have the connector here that comes through for the ignition coil. And I did have to extend this maybe 9 inches. I just spliced it in some wire and extended it so it would reach here no problem. After we put the flywheel and pressure plate and all that on, Daniel went ahead and got the bell housing on, and we lost the bolts to the starter, so that's not going in just yet. He went to Rural King to get bolts for the starter, and yeah, when he gets back, you know, all things go well, the starter will be on, and I'll have the wiring ready to put the engine in. Oh, speak of the devil, here they pull in now. We're getting ready to have this thing going, hopefully by the end of the night. I know it's been kind of a long video. It's been definitely a few days in the making, but alright, it's going in, guys. It's in. Finally. It's sitting in the car. Even though it ain't running yet, it feels good. Just to know that it's in there. Alright, here's what I'm up to now. I'm trying to route the coolant hoses here for this intake. And this line here comes off this coolant line, this metal coolant line here, and it goes into the throttle, or the EGR plate for the throttle body. And then there's a return line. Maybe this is the return line and the other one isn't. Either one or the other. There's another line that on the stock Mustang intake, there's a fitting down here that it runs off and goes up to the intake, which would be about here. I'm not drilling and putting that fitting there on this intake since it doesn't have one. We already drilled out and put the fitting, or drilled out and tapped for the air charge temperature sensor. I'm not gonna drill another hole and put another fitting, so what I'm doing is I'm taking this T here, and I've had to cut up the factory hoses and do what I can to get it to fit in here without any issues. And then I'll use this and put the hose on here and come up to the other side of the EGR plate where this one connects to. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's in there. So we got it figured out. I just used like a 90 from the other one, like I showed you before, and that, and it's on there and it fits well enough. I mean, it's kind of just slightly kinked there, but it's about as good as it's gonna get. Now all we gotta do is add a line from here to come up to where the intake would be right about here. And then I'm just running a brand new hose from this, and I'm just gonna loop it around, and it's just gonna be like this. Just loop it around and put it in there, and I'm really not concerned about that loop being there. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. It was a bit longer than the normal videos that I post, but I was wanting to get it all in one video the last couple days of us doing everything we need to do to get the engine actually in the car. We've done a few things since I recorded last, which you'll see in the next video that's coming out. And also in the next video, hopefully we can get this thing to cough a little bit, and if we're really lucky, run. But that'll be in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it again. I know it was a bit longer than usual, but if you want to keep up to date with this build, go ahead and subscribe and tell me what you think about the build so far down in the comments section. We'll see you next time.